Oh, there he is. Grubby, welcome, welcome.
Oh.
Hello.
It's been quite a while since you played like a competitive match. It was a show match at the Dolphin Cup together with Moon, and now you're on your own, right? Are you nervous?
Well, I don't really get that nervous about these things anymore. So not nervous. You try to lock in and concentrate, right?
All right. So
can I still call Moon if things don't go well?
Yeah, I mean, you can try to call him at like 4 a.m. He probably appreciates that. So, leading into this match, I saw you played a lot of Sirocco and Heroes of the Storm. Did that help you in any way?
I find it's the best practice. You see, STARBUCK is bringing a lot of different heroes to the table since he's playing all races, but he only has a choice from 24 different heroes. In Heroes of the Storm, you have a choice of 90 different heroes. So I've practiced my versatility more, and it's going to keep me unpredictable. Also, there's nothing for him to study now.
True. 5-head, Grubby.
STARBUCK said he's confident about the match today. Grubby, how about you? Are you confident? What's your goal?
Well, I'm confident it's going to be fun. STARBUCK is a phenomenal player. He had his amazing... it's a lot of fun to watch him play. One of the few players that I can watch where it's not triggering to watch.
Wow, because they're so
I
bad.
feel you, Grubby. I feel you. I get triggered when I see a bad play, man. I really do.
I know. Do you ever have like an involuntary shudder?
Shudder, what do you mean?
Like a shake.
Shake, not really. No, I just get tilted inside.
For me, it gets physical sometimes, and it's funny because like you would think only when you're watching Bronze League Heroes, right? Okay, I get it. There's some plays. I've seen it before when I play other games. People are like, "Oh, that's hard to watch," and I'm like, "You shut up! I'm new." Like, what do you mean it's hard to watch?
Yeah.
Just watch. I'm new. It's understandable. But I get triggered watching 2200 MMR players, 2400, 25.
Would you like to mention any names, Grubby? Anyone in specific?
It's Knopf.
Catching stray bullets, man. Poor Knopf, bro.
Yeah, no, he played really nicely today. I complimented him. It was deserving. But, you know, I get triggered watching myself play as well. And there's few players where I'm thinking, like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And so it's a lot of fun to watch STARBUCK play. I know that I have very low chances to even win one map against him, but that puts me in the underdog position, which is always comfortable.
Can you bark like a dog?
I can, but not reserved for you.
I see.
Special VIP service.
All right, guys. This has been fun. I hope the games will be fun as well. Thank you for your time and good luck in the matches. If you have any shout-outs, call-outs, feel free.
Yeah, thanks Carson and Sol for fluffing the crowd. STARBUCK and I will take it from here. Hope to bring the match to a big climax.
Let's go. All right.
Take care,
Enjoy, boys.
Thank you, thank you.
Hamster news, so some organization thinks, so the first map is going to be Northern Isles, I presume. And yes, now I feel good about only casting, not playing on my stream. And now I know why Grubby never watches my streams, you know. So I have the answer.
He said 2400 MMR. He doesn't like watching 2400 MMR. I'll never be that high MMR in my life. I can practice for the next 5 years and not get there. Jeez.
And I hope that Games on Flotiv is going to be good enough. Or Blade Zupa. I need to show Grubby Blade Zupa sometimes, so he'll watch Blade Zupa forever, despite of MMR. Doesn't matter because this style is amazing.
All right, to everybody who thought that this dog question was a bit random, that's an old Warcraft meme from Deadman. I hope that Grubby remembered. Otherwise, that was really weird. Oh, otherwise, that's really cringe. Oh my. Okay,
no, it's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll see about that then, I guess. Let's go, everybody. It is STARBUCK, it is Grubby, it is Play-All-5.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first map of the big show match, and we all remember Tyler 1 versus Grubby. It was a little bit weird, it was a little bit crazy, and everybody loved it. Here, we are closer to the competition, you know, to the pro level. People say, oh, how good can Grubby be? Currently, he's like top 10 of Warcraft 3 champions. He's omega good. Do you agree with Mr. Carson? Like, he's yes. Amazing. And Grubby There was a little bit of jokes by Mr. Neo that he's playing other games, but he got to 2,200 MMR with every race, and with Orc he broke 2,500. So I think that it was a long time since we have seen that good Grubby, Mr. Carson.
Yeah, he seems like he's been actually putting in the work, putting in the practice, and a little bit like dedicated. He's not doing too many like request strategies or anything like that. He seems relatively motivated to learn the game, at least from like a cognitive perspective. Maybe not necessarily working too much on mechanics or countering the top pro players, but he's focused on figuring out the game and being able to teach it and understand it, obviously because he's been doing a lot of coaching recently. So we'll definitely see maybe the wisest Grubby we've had in a while. Not necessarily maybe the best micro, but his micro is not something he's always needed to work too much on. He's always been really, really strong in that category. So let's see what happens on Northern Isles. Looks like Farseer versus Cryptlord to start us off.
Yeah, can you give me some thoughts about the Cryptlord as Undead versus Orc? Because as we can see, Acolyte movement. By the way, Acolyte got as snare, but no mistake here. Acolyte is still alive. So I think STARBUCK will try to expand, right? It's not looking like a Cryptlord tower rush to me. And Grubby open air is pretty old school. I don't kinda know this open air too well, because these days it's rare to see multiple grants open air with Farseer. Do you agree?
Yeah, I can't say I've seen this a lot. I think this is probably pretty specific to Grubby. I don't really 100% know what he's going to do, but this will be pretty good against the Cryptlord Expo, I have to say, which is, I assume, what STARBUCK is going to go for. He sells the TP, might even on some of the altar and go for that gold mine, probably right away. But yeah, Grunts and Wolves and a ranged hero are three things that are very, very strong at harassing an attempted expansion. So this should be pretty good if Grubby can just scout the Cryptlord.
Yeah, Grubby so far is creeping, and that's what he likes to do. I remember like 3 years ago I learned this creep route from him. It's double item creep with level 2, and after opening the Murloc Flesh Eater, he can just take the item and go scout with his Farseer, leave fresh wolves with the ground alone. But yes, he's not harassing immediately, and I think that's a pretty good start for STARBUCK.
Yeah, I do like this this idea from STARBUCK. Cryptlord Expo can be very, very good against Orc, especially if you're not like a main undead player. I know obviously STARBUCK used to main undead and he has a lot of practice with the race, but Cryptlord is something that if you can get an expansion up, it's a lot easier sort of to play, whereas I feel like one-base Death Knight is very reliant on timings, very reliant on a perfect early game, which can be extremely tricky versus Orc. I do feel like Orc is pretty good in this matchup currently, so I think this is a nice little adaptation from
Grubby knows, Grubby has scouted the expansion, and I have another question. He went to the Orc shop and bought Speed Scroll and Clarity, so not even Healing Solve, so Grubby is valuing Speed Scroll over. But is Speed Scroll enough? Grubby needs to surround himself. This is a big micro moment. He's Speed Scrolling, and he was able to break it. Like he was able to break the surround, and Carson, I think we see.
Sorry, guys.
Grubby microing as well in 2004.
Without that Speed Scroll, he wouldn't have gotten out of that surround. That was maybe when the hero is blocked against those trees, and Grubby gets one gold mine cancel due to that. Also importantly, forces an impale. Now he goes into the main base, no Nerubian tower, and he's got Chain Lightning, could easily kill Acolytes, but STARBUCK goes for the surround again, and this time he locks it in dry.
Yeah, but there are 3 grants on the top right. They were trying to cancel the expo, but no, after Farseer surround, Grubby has to go back, and he's pulling back the grounds, and I think Grubby is going to wait now with for tier 2 power spike, because yes, canceling the expo will be hard at this stage of the game. And Carson, give me some options, please. What you can do now as Orc? Should you go Fire Lord and 1 Bestiary and just, tier 2 Alien, or you can take it to the late game?
Yeah, I think you're right on the money with that possibility of a Fire Lord. Would not be surprised with the fact that Grubby knows that he's slowed down the expansion. Would not be surprised to see a Fire Lord second and some sort of all-in. You can also go into 2 Beast Raiders, you can go into Wind Riders, you can go into a tier 2 expansion, but that would be a little bit risky. But for now, another gold mine cancel. This is almost certainly going to go down.
Yeah, but look at STARBUCK. He's like, okay, you want to go for my gold mine with your entire army? Fair enough. I'm going to go for your burrows, Grubby. And Grubby doesn't have a scroll of teleportation, he has staff of teleportation, and I think that soon Farseer will staff to the main base, but is it going to be enough? To be honest, STARBUCK army doesn't look that big, and Farseer will be just fine. One chain lightning, and you know, all of the ghouls, they need to go back. It looks like Grubby is in a very good position in map number 1. STARBUCK can't really stop expanding because he invested into 5 acolytes and he's still tier 1. Carson,
Yep.
Grub is looking very good. What can go wrong?
I guess
Tell
all
me.
STARBUCK can really do to make it go wrong for Grubby here is try to force it into the late game as much as possible. Maybe, you know, try to do a late expansion, try to get tier 2 up, but he's almost certainly not going to be able to get a second base at this point, right? He's going to have to somehow force it late. Grubby invested a lot into the early game, of course, with that staff, burning the TP, buying lots of items, staying on tier 2 for a while, also going for 4 grunts. So Grubby has invested a lot into delaying this expansion, but obviously he's in a fantastic spot because of this.
Yeah, really nicely placed by Grubby, and we need to keep eye what he's going to do. Tower and Totem and Bestiary, so kind of tier 2 army. He has time, and he's going for the Tower and Chieftain. So very comfortable position by him, but STARBUCK got level 3 finally. He's going for the beetles, and let's see what he can do. Definitely, he's trying to re-expand again, but Grubby sending those 3 grunts. Carson, Grubby is on point. Look at this. They're going to cancel even 4 grunts with brute strength.
Yeah, really nicely done. Because Grubby, of course, had that ward there the whole time. STARBUCK did not know, but Grubby had the perfect scout. Or maybe he did know, but he couldn't do anything about it. And Grubby, again, going to cancel all of this. And we see what STARBUCK's going for now, right? He's trying to make tricky plays because that's all he can do. Maybe gets a surround on the TC. Does lock it in, but there's Stomp and Staff passed over. Nice play from Grubby.
In Micro we trust, at this point, STARBUCK is taking not because he's giving up the expansion, but because he has already the acolytes, right? So he doesn't need to wait with Necropolis. He's still trying to expand triple Ziggurat. This looks pretty weird. I love it.
Reiterate, STARBUCK has to do some sneaky, crazy stuff. He's very good at these sort of weird off-meta plays. But at this point, a standard game plan is not going to work for STARBUCK. He's got to do this triple Ziggurat, try to hide an expansion, maybe go into some sort of Necro Wagon play, something like that. He's got to do something crazy to come back in this game.
Oh, that's very true, and Grubby is close to the lab. STARBUCK knows because of a nice scout. STARBUCK decided to continue creeping, and my question is, are we going to see a Sapper? Are we going to see Zeppelin? Grubby is close to the laboratory. He doesn't need to do any crazy things, and I think that he will continue creeping. And as you mentioned, he feels quite comfortable. Actually, is he going for the red camp? Probably he can creep the red camp. I like it, or maybe it's just an attempt to cancel the expo again. Let's see.
And maybe some sneaky pathing to get to the expansion. It's going to be tough. I mean, 3 Ziggurats, the towers will be up in a matter of under a minute. There is a single impale. Cryptlord's got to be a little... It could be over-aggressive, but this is so far a well-timed attack.
At least we have 5 acolytes to mass repair. The towers is the leftover from the early game. Juicy impale, but defensive, but towers are finishing. Grubby did not clear his expansion, so he can't expand. Grubby needs to do something, and slowly but surely, Grubby units are getting a little bit lower. Grubby is still going for this cancellation. Is he cosplaying a human with what elementals that is at the expo? I think he will get it again.
Oh, and now Town Portal out. Really nice play from Grubby. Continuing to solidify his advantage. He didn't get over-aggressive because he had the TP. This is a fantastic position. He just can't get that expansion up. He's got towers up now. So STARBUCK will eventually get this second gold mine. But I guess for Grubby, the question now is, what does he do? How does he follow this up? Does he just keep running at the expo, Saul?
Well, what I would do if I would be a better player, and I will do it versus you next time, so get ready. I would buy Zeppelin now, I would drop the expo, cancel it, and I would type smiley face in the chat.
Yeah, Grubby has that option available, right? He can always get a Shredder if he wants to go 2-base, he can get a Sapper if he wants to all-in, he can get the Zeppelin to continue the lames. Yeah, there's lots of options with the opening of that lab earlier. That's why that was such a nice creep camp to go for, as you pointed out. But for now, STARBUCK, he's just going to keep creeping. He's going to keep creeping and praying. He's going tier 3 now, and this is all he can really do, is hope and pray and try to be a little bit efficient on the map.
Yeah, it looks like Grubby is preparing like the fighting army at this point because his army shines on tier 2, right? So he will get 50 supply. He's in the 50 supply, but with level 3 Tower and Chieftain almost. And I think that now he will fight for real. And actually he's an option to go to the main base of STARBUCK. Let's see, because this is the moment, right? He needs to make decision. Either it's tier 3, either it's expansion, or tier 2 Alin. And I think he's tier 2 aligning. Raiders are connecting into ghouls. 2 ghouls are going to die. Item is on the ground. Not quite level 3 for the heal. Look, Grubby is pulling back the Farseer, so give all of the experience to the Tower and Chieftain from the ghouls, and it's going to be almost enough. 1 XP! 1 XP is missing for the Tower and Chieftain to get level 3. And yes, now STARBUCK, good luck. We know that Undead will be a very, very, very strong push by Grubby.
The altar's going to go down, and there is double slaughterhouse, which Grubby scouted. So I guess he's not going to be able to get statues or mana pots maybe before the shop goes down. He gets the wanted negation. The Crippler a handful of ghouls to defend this main.
Has gone. Also, his shop has for that. STARBUCK doesn't have that many production buildings, but look at this, is Grubby over committing here. He wants to get the Black Citadel, but Mass Reaper is strong and STARBUCK can't afford this.
The one thing in STARBUCK's favor is Grubby has no heal scrolls and everything is spirit linked, right? So STARBUCK doesn't have to focus anything. He just has to deal damage and eventually the whole army is going to be low. Unfortunately, he's out of impales, but things are starting to drop low. We see Raiders microed back, Grunts microed back, Walkers aren't going to do a ton of damage. I think STARBUCK is going to hold here. This is the cursed chalice, you could say, of Spirit Link. Everything brews at the same time.
Yeah, but Grubby has the follow-up, Grubby has the shop, and the problem with STARBUCK is, yes, he got tier 3, but he can't make another hero. But look what he's placing. He's like, okay, I'm tier 3, I'm going to make a tier 3 unit, and the tier 3 unit is, of course, the Frostworm that is inside of this boneyard. So at the expansion of STARBUCK, he's remaking the altar and shop, so now he can produce obsidian statues, he can produce maybe the Frostworms, we'll see about that, but it's like, I don't know if it's a good or bad idea that Grubby is not opening himself an opportunity for counter expansion, you know, because he has the ultimate map control.
Yeah.
But yes, he bought items. He wants to finish the game now, right? But STARBUCK is like, okay, come on at me, bro. I'm in my base, I have my towers, and if you're not going to break me in time, I'm going to have my Frostworms.
Yeah, worms are on the way. Oh, Crippler a little out of position, but no way that Crippler's going down. Here we go again. Pillage, of course. Tons of resources for Grubby this entire time, worth pointing out. Towering now. Yeah, I think you pointed out that, like, there's no reason Grubby couldn't have an expansion up for free behind this. Like, if he invests just, you know, a little bit over 300 gold, or closer to 400, I suppose, he would have an expansion up and there'd be nothing STARBUCK could do about it. But Grubby is sort of forced into a weird all-in, and STARBUCK is only getting more and more comfortable. He's going to have his first statue turn into a destroyer very, very soon. That'll deal with the Spirit Link.
Yeah, this is very true, and Grubby feels the pressure, Grubby wants in, and remember, he still has a big advantage, but the question is, how good the Undead base is. Are we going to see the second hero? Death Knight is almost ready, and Grubby is repositioning a little bit. He's making one watchtower. I don't see any demolishers yet. There is 0 demolishers, actually. And STARBUCK is getting the sweet, sweet, sweet tier 3 power spike. He can't afford the Frostworm just yet. We are all in the Frostworm waiting room. And look at this siege of Grubby, like what he can do. He's like tower rushing, but this is the slowest tower rush ever, and it's Death Knight, the Death Knight. We have one Raider. Is Death Knight going to survive? STARBUCK with defensive impale. He's passing the items. There is mana potion on the ground.
Oh, the Crippler did get it. The TC got it, and the DK goes down. A misplay there by Mr. STARBUCK, but it was a nice idea. The Death Knight coming out of the altar. Maybe Grubby could pivot over to the expansion. Now he realizes, oh, there's an altar over there at least. There's a shop over there at least. Maybe I can kill that and Worm is halfway out, but Grubby might have time to kill a lot of this production over here, the expansion.
Yeah, but remember, STARBUCK is now breaking 50, so his economy was superior, right? He was getting +10, and Grubby was getting only +7, you know, per mine, basically. So that's why STARBUCK is still looking pretty good. And be careful, STARBUCK, because this time he's away from his main base, and Ensnare is pretty deadly. And Grubby is here, Grubby is ready to use Ensnare. One destroyer is trapped. And there are still 3 raiders actually, but the Frostworm is here. Is STARBUCK overextending? We'll see about that. The big fight is coming. Nice impale. Everything is low, as you mentioned. Grubby doesn't have new heal scrolls. I'm scared a little bit for Grubby. Crazy.
Yeah, Spirit Link is not helping him a ton right now without heal scrolls. He was not able to finish his food on those Destros. I think he got 1 kill there. Didn't lose a ton either, but the issue becomes healing when you're an orc in this position. Meatwagon to deal with the tower. STARBUCK's defense here has been fantastic. Again, we talked about it earlier. If Grubby had just expanded behind this, everything else would have been fine. All these plays would have been absolutely fine, but he has no follow-up plan. He has to end the game.
And he's still trying, and STARBUCK is starting to feel good, I think, right? And what Grubby can do, to be honest, I think he will just commit, you know, what he started, but with every minute it's getting harder and harder. Of course, there is still possibility to just pull back and go tier 3, but we can all agree that, you know, STARBUCK has superior army, and this Frostworm is ensnared. There is hope, and Storm works on the Storm. Because, you know, if Frostworm is ensnared, he's like a ground unit, and with the power of the Storm, the mighty dragon has fallen. And we all remember what happened in Game of Thrones after the first dragon died. There was a big drama on the Reddit.
Yeah, it died so easy, too. He just threw a spear at it, and now Criplord isn't getting a spear thrown at it, but rather stomped into the ground, has the Ankh. There is a coil, but I think this is the right play for Grubby. Just try to kill the Criplord. You have to eventually make him burn through those consumables.
Yeah, Grubby, from having huge advantage, now is looking for mistakes, basically. And can he find them? Level 4 TC is a help. But again, everything is getting lower and lower in Grubby army as well. Interesting fight. Another dragon has fallen, not like this. And Criplord has Ankh. Criplord survives for now. Grubby 51 supply. STARBUCK 49. And Grubby is pulling back. His tower is dead, his shop is dead. Grubby needs to start healing.
Ooh, this is a tough position. Okay, Grubby killing peons in his main base to go below 50 now. Looks like he will go for an expansion. And he could have gone tier 3 this whole time as well, and then immediately Tiny Grey Hall expanded. I suppose one thing in Grubby's favor is that soon, as long as Grubby can get an expansion up in the next couple minutes, it will at least just be one base, because STARBUCK's main will run out. But one thing we can both agree on, Salt, is the first game has been very entertaining. Even if Grubby kind of, you might argue, throw. It's been a great game.
It's hard to say that he threw, you know, right? He was like trying to finish the game with the Nalin, and we had a perfect example for every viewer in the Twitch chat when we are, you know, highlighting that Undead base is strong. It's not because, you know, of some blight region. No, everything worked fine for STARBUCK. There, Grubby was even trying to, you know, kill the Black Citadel. He couldn't. Very nicely done by STARBUCK. He survived this, and now is he going to be rewarded by that? Remember, hero levels are still in Grubby corner. Tower and Chieftain level 5 is going to be amazing. Who knows, maybe Farsi level 5 as well. We know how powerful Spirit Shadow Wolf Laming is. And STARBUCK is teleporting out immediately. Is he going to catch him with Impale? Not really. Defensive TP. There's a lot of creeps on the map. Is Grubby going to push? That's my question. He's making one more bestiary, yeah.
One statue, one A-bomb, one meat wagon, one Destro, one Frostworm, one an army for STARBUCK, and 5 lumber for STARBUCK, because he, of course, never rebuilt those ghouls that he lost earlier, but now he has a Shredder anyway, but it's kind of a very strange army, but, you know, everything is necessary for STARBUCK that he has.
Yeah, and STARBUCK even has additional acolytes, so he can bring them with this army to make it even weirder, you know? It's like a challenge. You said that Grubby is not making that many challenges recently, so STARBUCK is doing a challenge. Make every unit and walk with them in the map, so Yes. If you make double unit with your army, if you keep it, you'll get disqualified. That's the challenge. Oh, he got another obsidian statue. Okay, obsidian statue with mana is 1 unit. Obsidian statue with healing, turn on is another unit. So he has a pass.
Okay, expansion now for Grubby, and obviously the only thing was he just didn't clear the expansion. If he had cleared the expansion, he obviously would have placed his Grey Hall down probably 10 minutes ago, easily, behind that push, and that was the one thing that really, everything was fine from Grubby, it's just the fact that he didn't have that expansion going up. But if he's able to get this Expo mining, STARBUCK's main is going to run out. It'll be one base, at least for the tail end of this game. And then tempo will be on Grubby's side because STARBUCK's expansion will run dry first. But for now, it is 72 versus 49. Hero level advantage still in Grubby's favor, but the Crypt Lord's level 5.
And we need to highlight that Crypt Lord is playing Impale, of course, and Impale on level 5 is very, very good versus ground units. That's why usually in Undead versus Human, when Undead plays Crypt Lord, we used to see Mass Gryphons, because Impale doesn't work on air units, and Grubby has full ground army. By the way, weird stuff, STARBUCK with the Shredder in the Undead base. That's pretty sweet. And what Grubby is going to do? Grubby is going to lame, I think.
Got no TP for Grubby, but he can speed scroll away. Going to be necessary against the Frostrooms and the Impale, of course, but he gets out without one. Lich is out, by the way. Grubby going for Wind Riders on double Bestiary at home. He just needs some sort of a fighting army against the Mass Air, he thinks, so he's going to go for Wind Riders. Speed Scroll was burned. He cannot attack that statue. He would lose his whole army if he did that. So Grubby buying time. Very nicely buying time, and the expansion will finish. But STARBUCK, with Lich and with Orb, he's getting very strong. Also got Khadgars from that red camp. STARBUCK is very much in a good position to win this fight, but Grubby manages to get up to 65 supply. Can he hold with the support of the towers?
Yes, towers are going to help a lot, definitely. And the problem with Undead is the siege damage, but he has actually one obsidian, one meat wagon, so that is actually pretty good siege type. And also he can go for a frost attack, the frost will upgrade that is basically disabling the towers, but probably versus 2 towers is not important. But who knows, with the Shredder you can afford every upgrade in the game if you really want to. Crypt Lord confirms that there is an expansion indeed on the top left. STARBUCK is planting a sneaky expansion himself. And Carson, it can be a pretty long game because this push is going to be quite slow.
70 versus 80 essentially right now. Tri-hero now for STARBUCK for the first time in this game. Big fight. Impale is going to land huge, but Wind Riders in the air. No Bat Riders to detonate, but one Frost Orb taking a lot of damage. Protection Scroll used. One Heal Scroll going to have to be burned for Grubby. Towers are fighting, though, and a lot of these air units might start to fall, but the first Frost Orb microed out nicely. The Impales are huge, Saul.
Yeah, but Storms are huge as well. This is the game that is going to be remembered as the mass stun on the ground game. Oh, this Impale was so good. Grubby army is going lower and lower, but STARBUCK is forced to go back. Grubby will survive this.
Wow.
But as Grubby said, healing as Orc is quite expensive, and Mr. Carson is going to be very expensive healing.
Yeah, but that's even supply now. Those trades favored Grubby by 10 supply. That was the swing. They were producing behind it, of course, and now STARBUCK is catching up a little bit because he has more production buildings, but that was a good fight for Grubby. Healing, as you mentioned, the issue. Maybe he could get heal wards from the marketplace, but they're currently not available at the marketplace.
Yes, and they were nerfed, right? So you have only
True.
2 now, but you just need one. It's... Well, actually, what is the cost of healing wards? Twitch that probably knows, but it's like 500 gold or something, right?
It's 3 or 4, I think. I don't think 5, but yeah, it's really expensive. Very
Yeah,
expensive.
so I mean, for 300 gold you have 6 solves, but yeah, doing math off stream is very, very dangerous. And Grubby has scouted on the top left that there is indeed expansion for STARBUCK. Grubby wants to expand there himself. Look, he's sending the peons, but he's making them to go back. And the question is, what Grubby is going to do, right? He has a few options now. He can go tier 3 himself and maybe try to go for some crazy army type, but yeah, STARBUCK was able to macro back.
Yeah.
Interesting game.
Yeah, and Grubby with kind of a miracle hold. That was the best possible fight for him. And STARBUCK with the Khadgars, with the statues, he just recovers right away. He's got full mana again. He reproduces again up to 80, and Grubby's going to have yet another miracle hold as he
Grubby's laming. Look at this. He wants to get one Acolyte, and then he will level up. Chain Lightning use his Staff of Teleportation. He's stuffing early because he knows that Impale is quite deadly. And all of this for one Acolyte?
Does he get it?
All of this for nothing, but no, Grubby's smart! Twitch chat, have you know that Grubby's smart? Actually, look at this, he's going to lame this, but there is no TP! This can backfire! I'm scared now!
Impale behind his army. So much supply caught out of position. That's 18 supply caught. 3 Frostworms in snare. Windrider's trying to focus him down. The stomps have been great, but there's only one snare on the Frostworm. Will die. Windrider's taking a lot of damage. Potion of Vulnerability used. Impale only lands on the TC. Grubby has to get out, but how does he get out?
Yeah, that's the problem is there was no TP. Grubby couldn't commit into the laming. He committed into the fight, was a little bit out of position, and I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that Grubby is just smelting, you know, his tier 2 unit versus Frostworms. It was hard to begin with, and GG. First games goes to STARBUCK, and Undead is done. No more Undead in this series.
What a banger of a game, guys. Holy smokes. This is showing why these players are some of the more brilliant ones that we have in the scene. What a back and forth, crazy pressure by Grubby early on. And then STARBUCK somehow fights back. I have no idea how, but that was a slobber knocker to start off this series.
Dude, yeah, what a great game. Can we just mention, honorable mention to that Staff of Teleportation, how much value, that purchase was pretty much immediate, and Grubby used it in the last minute of the game. Super value from that item.
Yeah, very nice play by Grubby. He was so ready. He was so ready in the early game, and you know, it's of course easy to see when you are casting, and you know, you can argue as well that this push that Grubby did on like 55 supply, when STARBUCK had like literally one Crippler and some ghouls, could finish the game, but yeah, Grubby decided to take it to the late game, but it was probably too late. But yes, after what we saw with this Grubby like pulling back the grounds and so on, definitely he's very good in the early game, and now he's going to play versus human, right? The map is going to be Last Refuge, and we are going to see the main race of STARBUCK. But if you don't remember, Grubby was able to win versus him. It was on Autumn Leaves, not Last Refuge. So let's see. Carson, are you expecting Blade Master? Grubby is able to do Blade Master on this map, right?
Because there's two human maps, obviously, but they did not specify which was Archmage and which was Pally Rifle. Now, the mannered thing for STARBUCK to do would be to play Pally Rifles on this map, and then on Hammerfall's the other human map to play Archmage there. But Archmage would be much better on Last Refuge, of course. So I wonder how they'll do this. Or maybe it'll just be, you know, he'll just do it on Hammerfall, Pally Rifles, and then Archmage here, which would be the better strats.
It's also kind of good we have it set up this way, right? Because if you don't know on one of the two maps what's coming, you still have to guess, and it's a little bit more challenging. Otherwise, you could just more or less hard counter the other strategy. So a little bit of a guessing game. You can't be too sure. STARBUCK is asking for a minute real quick, and of course we're gonna grant it to him. But yeah, absolute entertainment. By the way, Twitch chat, I apologize for the sound issues we had. I hope this is fixed now. And we got a lot of support for the channel coming in. Thank you, Paralo GG for the 63, Whirlo for the 28, MJ Fraser with the gift sub, Randall Flag for the 2 years, the Flip, Buttcrumbs, Kratos with the 5 gifties. Seems like you like what you see, and this banger game, of course, deserves a lot more attention and a lot more support. STARBUCK is ready. We're waiting for Grubby to be ready here as well. Our competitors locking in for map 2. It is human. It is Last Refuge. I wish them good luck. Have fun. 3, 2, 1, go. Who's with me on the journey?
Saul.
Okay.
He's a human player after all.
Hoping for the
Yeah, Carson won the show match, so I said yes, sir. You're right, sir.
I say thank you, sir, for Dethariel. 50 euros. What a time to be alive. It is for Warcraft fans, indeed, the time to be alive. as there's so much content day in, day out. We're gonna set this up real quick. The map has started, and will STARBUCK get the 2-0, or will Grubby tie this up? Let's go.
Yes, so in this map, STARBUCK is playing Human, and he's not playing Pala Rifle, he's playing Archmage Footman. I'm going to leak a little bit of DMs here. So in the map veto process, when players, STARBUCK and Grubby, were talking about this map, STARBUCK said, hehe, XD, last refuge pretty broken, smiley face. So definitely, STARBUCK is going to show us his best, the best map for him and his best race. So if Grubby can challenge him here, it's going to be quite crazy. Speaking of Mr. Grubby, he's on the top right and he's sending early peon. Now I would love to have Carson here, but Neo, what do you think? Is it like to steal the healer priest? I think that's the idea of this peon scout.
Ooh, originally we buffed the Great Hall to 11 supplies so orcs can finally scout. They proceeded to never scout with it. I think you're onto something, but Carson, if you want to chime in and explain to the viewers what's happening here. Or he's
And
just
of course
gone. He's probably gone.
STARBUCK is rewatching, Carson is rewatching the VOD, you know, listening to your casting when he was obliterating me. Good play.
I have one wish, Sol. If I see Grubby versus Human on Last Refuge, I think back to one game, and that was Grubby versus Hawk, one of the best games of 2024. And if this game is going in somewhat of a similar fashion,
Wait, the fight, Neo. Yeah, they're fighting for the scout.
Oh,
And yeah, you said the fashion, sorry, but I was excited for the troll.
of course. Let's look at the troll. Will he get the Shadow Priest, or will he just disrupt the creeping? So far, no purchase, but there it is. Sol, you were right on the money.
Oh no! But maybe we are right, but is the troll dead? Let's see, he's trying to body block with the peon, but Archmage is so fast. Ay. This troll is representing my dream of winning versus Carson. Started well, but at the end,
Well,
we are dead, miss.
at least STARBUCK doesn't get it, so it's still a zero-sum game, I guess. The Shadow Priest is always amazing against the Fastier, because you can just dispel one of the wolves and then the other can be killed. And this is now not possible. I think Grubby still kinda got what he wanted, even though he doesn't get the healing and dispel extra.
Yeah, but what STARBUCK did was also smart, and I have seen this before. Like, he went to buy the troll, yes, with his Archmage and so on, but in the meantime, he grabbed the green camp with the Orc Warrior. So look at this Archmage, almost level 2, already has close +5, and Grubby has nothing. 0 items, 0 experience.
Well, he is going on the nerves of STARBUCK. It is a 2-farm tech with an Arcane Tower. We gotta mention that Undead was originally STARBUCK's main, but he hasn't played that competitively in years. He's playing a Human every single day in the top tier tournaments and show matches. So this is probably gonna be STARBUCK's best encounter on map 2. And Grubby, oh, that Headhunter is a little lost.
Yeah, Miss Micro, at least the laboratory got the last hit, so there is no additional experience, but yes. It's not looking too good to Grubby, but remember, this is Grubby. And you wanted to say this some story before, Mr. Neo. Sorry for not letting you to finish, because this troll was crazy. But what I want to say, I was remember watching Grubby versus Happy like 2 years ago, just on ladder. And Grubby was able to win a game from Happy, like just on ladder, and that was pretty impressive. So I hope that in this game, Grubby will still try to deliver, even though it's looking pretty bad. But who knows, STARBUCK is going for Rifle Caster, so the push will be quite strong.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Grubby will know how to play against it. They must have met on ladder a bunch of times as well, since Grubby is grinding again. Tier 2 at 70%. We get a shop, we get Headhunters, all the norm. STARBUCK can't get level 3, but that's not the goal for this build anyway. It's to hit hard and fast with the Rifle Caster push, and Grubby's task is to shut that down and survive.
Yeah, he wants to get level 3, but not his MK, right? Of course, as you pointed out, with Rifle Caster, he's not like forced to cancel burrows or some buildings, because his tech is quite fast. Grubby is finally getting some experience on the bottom of the map. And finally, some luck for Grubby, the best item, replenishment potion that he's using immediately. So he doesn't need to be at his base to start healing. And he's looking to maybe lame a little bit. Is he going to steal the Mer camp? I think yes, Grubby is going for the Mer camp. Greedy.
One of the biggest items on the map, plus of course access to the mercenary camp if he so desires. Might need some healing here. The Rock Golem is still a worthy opponent, and he's not that confident anymore that he can do this. As Carson would say, a little fumbly bumbly.
Very true. And Grubby is like, okay, this camp is pretty quite strong. Human can creep with this militia in the early game, right? And with Orc, you need to be tricky, Kappa. You need to like pull the Golem. And that's what he's doing. As we can see, Golem is not going to use any more mana. Look what STARBUCK is doing. One Water Elemental on the top versus Bestiary. Is this Bestiary going to die?
Looking like it. He got a little bit more time. Needs repair then instantly. We take a look at Grubby's creep. He got the Belt of Giant Strength. It's alright. TC is coming out. Can stop this with a Stomp if you want, but doesn't even need to as the building is finished. Then you get Fortified Armor, and then Water Elementals don't do much. And Grubby anticipated this push, going for reinforced defenses, so not even the burrows are attacked.
Well, that was an interesting shockwave by Grubby. And look at this, STARBUCK already with level 2 MK, big mana on the MK. And let's see what STARBUCK is going to do. Is he going to creep another shop? Probably. And yes, after creeping this shop, I think STARBUCK will pull Militia and Mr. Neo. This may be a pretty deadly push. Grubby got level 3 on his Farseer, and with Rifle Caster you don't have that many casters. It's not caster, it's Rifle Caster, right? So this spell is a little bit limited for the Orc. Dire Wolves can connect nicely. And to be honest, look at this, STARBUCK army, half HP. Of course, a heal scroll it will unlock in 3 seconds. I think STARBUCK is waiting for it. Oh man, he plays so good. Look at this. MK is waiting for some items. Yes, heal scroll is ready. STARBUCK is going for the kill. Level 3-3 and second hero that should be like a carry hero for Grubby on level 1 with red HP hiding in the main base of Orc. That's looking tough. Grubby needs to give us some crazy push. Look at this. He's creeping the laboratory. Is he going to lame? Is he going to fight? We're going to see now, because he needs to act quickly.
Yeah, maybe he thinks of a Zeppelin, but STARBUCK is knocking on his door for the 1-1. The TC was able to heal, still trying to buy time. But, oh, STARBUCK sees this, he knows it, and he's Militia creepjacking here. This game, start to finish, a little bit of a disaster for Grubby, unfortunately, but that's also because STARBUCK is playing world class.
Yeah, Grubby's teleporting back is not going to be laming versus laming. He is going to try to fight, it's going to be hard, but he will have his burrows, he will have some healing. He has nice items, there is Mana Stone, there is plus 6 strength. But STARBUCK is going to utilize the Rifle Caster power, which is oh, the Farseer! The Farseer needs to be careful. Healing, disabled, but this level 1 TC is such a problem. There is no dispel for Grubby. The push looks deadly, and I think Grubby will try one more time. He's remaking the burrows, he's still trying. It's going to be a long series, this Play-All-5, but look at STARBUCK. He's like, okay, I'm going to kill building after building. You are healing with gold, I'm healing with mana and with Archmage. Human has a lot of mana, of course. Grubby wants to fight for the last time. Can he do it? This clap was pretty juicy.
Clap is looking good indeed, but what's not looking good is that TC once again. Water Elementals so dominant, hard to breach when you don't have Shaman for the Purge or Shadow Priest for the Purge. Just healing going on. That's all that Grubby can do at the moment, and hang in there. And STARBUCK with the shop up, instantly going for a potion, just like he chucks his beer in real life.
Yes, again, Grubby maybe could lame a little bit, but he decided to fight. It's a hard fight. The club bolt was enough to get the TC 2-0 for STARBUCK.
Ah, that was a demonstration of force of what STARBUCK is capable of when he's playing his main race.
Yeah, that's, you know, Last Refuge, I think both the players would agree as well. Last Refuge, Human vs. Orc is dare I say, unwinnable for the Orc. So unfortunate. I think for Grubby, he just needs to put that game to the side, forget about it, and move on. Because yeah, last Refuge versus Human, we saw exactly why right there. Mountain King comes out, creeps both shops, gets level 3, and just kills you. It's a very good map for Human versus Orc. Grubby should forget about that. He should forget that game never happened. Game never happened.
I have no idea what you're talking about. The score also says 1-0. Like, from my perspective, this we just scratch it from the record books. There we go. But yeah, that was like, he's such a beast, man. And everybody in the B Cups and Don't Force Me Cups should definitely be scared when they're facing this. This was a little bit different than the game that Grubby had against Hawk. It was pretty much the opposite of what he did against Hawk, which was an epic 30-minute banger with lots of hero focus. Here it was just clean, precise, one timing after the next, one camp after the next. Grubby also a little bit unlucky at the creep spots, but hey, it is what it is. Next up is Hammerfall, and that is still STARBUCK on Human, and we know what that means.
Yeah, and the part of me losing the matchup, the deal was I'm banned for casting Pala Rifle games, so I'm going to hear Mr. Carson casting this amazing...
Oh no, you can cast Pala Rifle.
No, I want to listen to you. I want to listen to you. Remember to say, oh, this Pala Rifle is making mistake. Listen, so don't repeat this and stuff like that. Definitely interesting to see if... Actually, because if you don't remember, Twitch chat and below viewers, STARBUCK was... Grubby was practicing versus Pala Rifle a lot. He played versus me. He played versus Lemes. He was thinking about this build. He was watching replays. He was teaching Tyler 1 how to deal with Pala Rifle, and now Pala Rifle is nerfed. So you may say that it's still main race of STARBUCK, but Grubby knows how to play versus it, and it's a different patch. So guys, give me your best Pala Rifle expertise.
I mean, especially with this matchup.
For everyone.
What?
I'm doing a prediction for everyone. I forgot. I forgot. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. You got it. You ask and you shall receive. Go ahead, Neil. Sorry.
I mean, Carson, you did as much elaborative content creation on Orc versus Pally Rifle as no one else in this scene, I guess. I learned a lot from you, from TS Yog. We discussed this plenty times. I hope we can do justice to this matchup of Pally Rifle versus Orc.
Yeah, pressure's on, but you know, I've been looking at the Liquipedias for some of the tournaments recently, and I've seen a lot of Panda and Firelord. I don't want to, you know, it took him a while, but I saw some focus games, and he seems to be going a lot more of what we thought was best and what we told him was best. So don't want to say I told you so to all these Orc players, but you know, Neil.
Carson, I know, and there's still some room for improvement, but let's see how Grubby is playing this, and maybe we can coach him afterwards. Probably not. He knows what's up. He also did a lot of research on the topic. He has his very own idea of countering Pally rifles. So maybe this is not going to be a Paladin game, but maybe not a Paladin game, not a Panda game, but maybe something entirely different. I wouldn't be too surprised if Grubby is straying from the norm and brings his own big brain into the matchup. Grubby trailing 0-2. It would be kind of funny if he wins only one map, but the one map is Pally Rifle.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's putting a lot of the work. He has all the ideas. He may have different opinions, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the knowledge of all the variety of strategies. He certainly had ideas from his communities, had ideas from all of us. You know, so he knows about the Blade Master Mirror Image. He knows about the Farseer Panda Firelord. He knows about the Farseer TC strategies. He knows about the lane strategies. He knows about the solo TC strats. The question is, what is he going to go for to deal with the best Pally Rifle player of all time ever in the world?
Ooh, it is double barracks. Look at this. This is completely different from what everybody plays right now. Is this in your playbook, and can you elaborate on double barracks Headhunter?
Yeah, there was a little stint where Lin was doing this. He would just go blindly 2 barracks headhunters against human because he was so worried about Pally Rifle. So this could be played, and then you sort of pressure a lot. You try to get a lot of economic damage done, maybe try to force all the Holy Lights, and then go for a Naga follow-up on Tier 2. So I doubt he's going to fully commit to Tier 1, Grubby. I think he will eventually tech, maybe on 6, 7, 8 headhunters, and then he'll go for a Naga second and just continue the pressure. It is relatively all-in, but there will be some sort of follow-up play.
All right, curious how STARBUCK deals with the pressure. Usually he's very, very good at that. But maybe he's getting a bit complacent. We'll see about that. We get the new updated Pele rifle strategy with the Paladin early and Militia creeping. Then the first rifle comes out for the defense, and you got half the level in the back already.
So this is one of the more difficult parts of the game for the human player. The defense is always extremely hard, especially when the headhunters start flooding in. Grubby's goal going to be to force holy lights, kill peasants, delay that tech. STARBUCK's goal is going to be to retain mana on the paladin and retain lumber in his bank. All these peasants need to be mining, and they all need to be healthy.
And so far, I like the Farseer position here. Super safe from everything, is not overcommitting, running into the human base, getting trapped. No. Everything is hurt a little bit, but STARBUCK also, the 3 rifle timing and tech straight in his face.
Yeah, that's quite the quick tech. The peasants weren't forced to militia too much. They took some damage, but they continued mining, so STARBUCK, his tech is underway, and now he can happily, greedily use as much militia as he needs to. And Grubby so far hasn't forced any mana out of the paladin's hand.
Okay, that is of course not optimal, but he's also waiting for his power spikes. At the moment, STARBUCK probably doesn't know that it's mass headhunters. Now he knows, as he sees 3 instead of 2. That gives him the sign that there's a second Rex.
Yeah, that third headhunter timing was much, much earlier. I thought at first Grubby has one headhunter sort of AFK in his main base. I thought he was hiding the second barracks production, but of course, he already showed one of them. So now he's going to move that headhunter forward. And we'll see. He's got to get damage done. He's got to start forcing these holy lights. He forces 1. The STARBUCK has been very solid in his defense so far.
I agree that he has experienced the orc plays, all the different orc plays against him, and he's been reforged here under the pressure, and he thrives under it. This is a shop timing that will easily be shut down. And wolves nibble away at the rifles, maybe force another whole lead. The wolf block is really good by Grubby, really good.
Yeah, good damage. That wolf almost gets 2 holy lights worth of damage from that little block, so that's a nice summon. STARBUCK now has 3, almost 4 riflemen that are damaged enough to justify a holy light, so Grubby's getting closer to maybe succeeding in some kills. The shop might be forced in the back, and of course Grubby's shop not cancelled on the bridge. So this is getting better and better for Grubby. The headhunter numbers are rising, and it seems like he will commit to just tier 1 for now. No tech in Grubby's side.
Yeah, this is of course the power spike. He's doubling down on the production. Mass oftentimes outclasses expansion, but will it also outclass tech? There's a chance for a rifle kill maybe. Paladin is far gone. He gets a good damage roll and kills the first rifle of the game.
Yeah, very nicely done from Grubby to commit for that kill. Now STARBUCK taking a lot of damage on the Paladin. He's about to level up if he can get one more, maybe wolf kill in the future. But yeah, this is looking good for Grubby, but tier 2 right around the corner. You mentioned a power spike, and that in 55 seconds is going to be STARBUCK's power spike. But for now, Grubby still has a minute of opportunity to get some damage done, going for the Arcane possibly.
Yeah, and then he can send the wolves in again to do more damage and finish off some of these workers and rifles. Holy Light was available once again due to natural mana regeneration. Headhunters need a hospital or, getting slaughtered by their own leader.
Grubby not going for +1, surprisingly. I think he could have fit that attack upgrade in. Now he's going for it, but you can actually go for +1 before your first headhunter is even out, but of course he had to go for the second barracks. Now goes for towers. Truly an all-in situation as Grubby tries to go for the altar. STARBUCK is low enough on gold that the Blood Mage can't be produced. Same with the lumber side of things. This altar could die before a second hero is a possibility. This is looking good for Grubby.
Wow, sometimes you win games economically and with a lot of pressure and with big brains. We've martyred our brains. What can you do? When do you tag? What units to switch in? Which tri-hero combination? Grubby, keep things simple. Mass headhunter and pressure. But now the Blood Mage has started.
Yep, there it is. And 50 seconds on the clock before that hero is out. Can Grubby kill the altar? It's a little bit of a mini game right now. Grubby realizes the Blood Mage coming out. He has a timer in his head. If this Blood Mage comes out, STARBUCK is going to have a much, much, much easier time defending. The altar down to 300 HP, but continues to be repaired.
Game on a knife's edge here. Grubby knows it, that the pressure is rising. Sends in the hurt headhunters. This could be a lot of XP potentially for STARBUCK, but Grubby lets go. The Blood Mage is probably undeniable at this point. He's diving under the Arcane Tower to get the second Rifleman, which would then still not be level 2. But yeah, the repair is done, and STARBUCK defense looking great again.
Yeah, Grubby hasn't really lost any headhunters, and now he's teching to tier 2, so he can follow this up with Troll Regen, can follow this up with a secondary hero, maybe TC or Panda or something like that. So Grubby can follow this up into the, maybe not the late game, but into the mid game. The game's not entirely over. He did some serious economic damage. Just look how delayed the Blood Mage is by, over a minute, maybe even 2 minutes here. So if Grubby can just back away, get his tier 2 online, get a second hero, maybe follow it up into tier 3, and not die to this aggressive STARBUCK, Grubby might have a follow-up plan.
Heal scroll is amazing. The first mana suck of the game. This will heal all the headhunters back up, and the creep speed is of course going to be absurd. Mana sustain is an issue, levels are an issue. Grubby now is in the position where he buys time, but yeah, he can focus whatever you want and it's going to fall. Very hesitant, not spamming through the heal scroll, and this seems to be the right idea. Blood Mage will constantly drain mana from the creeps, distribute it to the pally, and basically get unlimited healing.
Yeah, nicely passing it over now. STARBUCK gonna buy push and vulnerability. Heal scroll still 50 seconds on cooldown in the shop right now. Grubby very tempted probably to just burn that heal scroll, but he knows if he just holds on until tier 2, Troll Regen will heal up all those headhunters without needing the heal scroll. Now looking for the market, or the lab rather, but STARBUCK is right here. He goes for the consumable. He's going to commit maybe the heal scroll to get this. Scroll the Beast could make the fight a lot easier. Gets the greater mana in level 2. And now, is this a surround? Possibly. He's got Dust, but the invul's there to keep the Paladin safe.
Alrighty, thought for a second it's Divine Shield, but it's not. Grubby, can you flee maybe with the Zeppelin? Hope you have the supply. Looks like it. Nice awareness by STARBUCK, never letting go of the pressure. Chain Lightning, alright, but counters immediately with Flame Strike.
Tier 2 is here for Grubby now. Maybe can pick up a Naga and continue to fight, but the Zeppelin, as you mentioned, above the trees. He's dead. The game's over. GG. He was stuck there at the lab. And STARBUCK wins with the Pally Rifle.
Grande disaster at the Goblin Laboratory. The push was crazy. Kinda sad that we didn't see Grubby with, this Panda strategy into the late game, but I actually like his idea, Blood Mage was late. Blood Mage, must transfer mana is costly, but STARBUCK showed us amazing defense in the early game, and he was able to hold this double racks push quite well.
Do you guys remember if I have to host game 4 or game 5?
It's 5, yeah.
Oh, it's 5? Whoops.
Well, either way. I think we're 1 ahead of what it actually is.
True. Yeah, Soul, as a Pally Rifle expert, what went wrong?
What went wrong for Pala Rifle? That Pala Rifle won? I don't know. It's a pretty good outcome for Pala Rifle. Yes, STARBUCK showed very, very good defense. I like that he decided to play a Pala Rifle on Hammerfall because the tree layout was pretty close. And because of that, his tag was fast. And as you mentioned, he was very low on resources, but it was enough. It was enough to get the Blood Mage out.
Yeah, and with the Blood Mage comes oftentimes victory. Pala Rifle still enough to deal with Grubby here. Nice idea. Could have been overwhelming under different circumstances if a couple more rifle fall, workers fall especially, so the lumber income is lower. Then the game is a whole lot different. But yeah, STARBUCK is, Carson said it, probably the best Pally Rifle player ever.
Yeah.
So well done, well done.
Yeah, it looked scary a couple of times. That the pressure was good. I think it's hard to say that Grubby could commit to the altar. It's such a weird thing to say. Like, yeah, your win condition is you kill their altar. That's never been said ever, pretty much. But I think Grubby maybe could have focused a little bit more on it, denying the Blood Mage, and then STARBUCK's so low on resources that he's gonna have to build it in the back, and the pressure continues. So maybe that was the best play Grubby had available, but it was still very competitive. Very competitive. Nice micro with the headhunters, but now we move on to Orc and Elf for STARBUCK. That's what he has left. These are the matchups where Grubby has a real chance.
Definitely, he knows those two matchups quite well. Trivia for the viewers, because Grubby plays in various the same hours basically every day. The night elf activity, high MMR night elf activity is pretty high in like 9 p.m. Central European summertime. And let me tell you one thing: Grubby played almost the same amount of games versus Night Elves as versus every single matchup added, right? So Orc Mirror, Orc versus Undead, Orc versus Human amount of games is actually almost the same as Orc versus Night Elf. So he understands the matchup pretty well because he's forced to play this. And also, Orc Mirror, he's the king of Orc Mirror, so I'm excited for those two matchups.
All right, both players ready. Carson gives it the go. Good luck, good luck, good luck. And we get game 4. Can Grubby strike back? He doesn't want to go home without a map. That's for sure. STARBUCK with a big chug before the match starts. He seems so confident, so crisp, and is on the way to trailblaze through this show match. Do we have something special prepared here from any of the sides? Will it be Blade Master, Shadowhunter, Raider Walker, Kodo? Will we have some TC first, Shadowhunter first? Will it be a Farseer? Will we see Witch Doctors? I got so many questions.
There's so many options these days in this matchup. This might be the craziest matchup in terms of mirrors, at least, that we have. There's so much variety. Taurens, Witch Doctors, as you mentioned, Raider Walker. There's tons of Farseer all-ins. Lots of strats.
Yeah, and my question is, Carson, because I know that you follow Orc Mirror on high level very closely. In the new patch, do we see some changes in the Orc Mirror, like on high level in tournaments with prize money, or it's still a little bit the same, like as it used to be?
Yeah, I feel like there's been a little bit of a red herring in the meta in Witch Doctors. Obviously, Taurens can no longer be devoured by Kodos, therefore Taurens are the best unit in Orc Mirror, but because Witch Doctors got buffed, Witch Doctors counter Taurens, so Witch Doctors are necessary so that your opponent doesn't go Taurens. But it's a little bit of a red herring because Witch Doctors and Taurens both equally take a long time to get to, making, weirdly enough, I believe Raider Walker to actually still be the best strat, because you go Raider Walker, you creep your Shadowhunter level 3, you pull Peons, and you all in on 56 supply your opponent, who's trying to get to Witch Doctors, and the earliest you can do that with a fast tech is about 8.5 minutes. You can push as an Orc player at about 8 minutes with a level 3 Shadowhunter. So it's a red herring. We might see some cool Witch Doctor strategies, but I do think Raider Walker is still the best strat.
Yeah, speaking of our all-ins, I know that STARBUCK is pretty good with Farseer even versus Night Elves, because as he said himself, he can just out-micro those Night Elves and pressure them. And what do you think about Farseer versus Blade Master? Because STARBUCK is going for the Farseer, Grubby for the Blade Master. Does it have to end with tier 2 all-in, with like Fire Lord, or you still think we can see late game if this is the opener for both players?
Yeah, there's a few options for sure. There's the Infi style, which I prefer, which is Farseer, pressure with a Shadowhunter second into double Kodo push with towers. Can be very, very strong. You go for like 6 Headhunters and then double Bestiary at tier 2. Go for a Raider with Ensnare, 2 Kodos, and then all in with a Shadowhunter and towers. It's sort of a slower push. There's, of course, the Farseer Firelord, or there's simply Farseer tier 3 tech, which STARBUCK might actually prefer that style. You go for Farseer, Shadowhunter, TC, Berserkers with Bloodlust, and go for the super strong late game army.
Okay, the steal. No steal. Grubby got the full experience, and now Blade Master versus Farseer. Who is going to win this exchange? Double burrow for Grubby. This one of the burrows will be cancelled.
I think they both will get canceled, actually. STARBUCK. One wolf is going to feed to the Blade Master. Does cancel the salve. Peon's trying to block. Yeah, he blocks with the Peon, so the next summon of wolves can't maybe get in. But STARBUCK could go back in. He's got a cloak, so it can be a little bit riskier than otherwise. Yeah, that's good damage for STARBUCK. There's the cloak getting utilized. Grubby might want to go for more items. He could solo creep the Ogre Magi if he buys a circlet with just his Blade Master.
Yeah, we saw this on pro level, and he really likes to use Dust versus Cloak.
Yeah,
he bought Dust of Appearance. Again, I was in the previous series. I was on the break, then I came back and I saw that Grubby is using Dust of Appearance in the human base. It was because of the cloak, but yes, for now, STARBUCK is pulling back. Now he has enough Headhunters, so he's able to creep really efficiently. And yes, now we are going soon we are going to know the answer. Is he going to do tier 2 all-in? Or is it going to be a longer game? I would like to say one thing, Grubby is extremely good versus those all-ins with the Farseer. Yeah. I remember I was watching him, he has entire game plan, but maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later, because Grubby may try to last hit something.
Oh, Farseer, he's got a speed scroll. Okay, uses Dust now. He can actually kill this Farseer, at least force the TP, but if the TP gets forced, he may still die. STARBUCK has to wait out the Dust and then TP and Cloak. TP, is he going to use it? No, he's just going to let it die. Wait, is he stuck? Can he get a Warmill block, maybe? Warmill block is a possibility, but no, he doesn't land it. Windwalk out, and Grubby in a good position here, Saul.
It was level 2 hero. Losing level 2 hero hurts a lot because you kinda have to revive in the altar. And Grubby has the Panda. Explain the Panda. Panda sounds like a late game, or what's the plan here?
Yeah, Panda, when you see lots of headhunters, Panda can always be good. The issue with Panda is that, you kind of have to get some damage done, or else you don't really have the sustain if they get to late game Bloodlust with Berserkers. They just hex your hero and focus it, and you don't have heal wave. So Panda's good if you can slow them down. So Grubby's gonna pressure.
Look at this Blade Master. He's like, hello guys. Hello, Musket Hunters, okay? I'm half HP, don't worry. One day when Blade Master feels like Demon Hunter, isn't it? But yes, I'm curious about the Panda, because yes, I do agree with you that Panda is amazing with Headhunters, but you need to creep it to level 3, right? So it's like basically similar concept like with Shadow Hunter. So you give your grants to the Panda, you creep, and with Blade Master you should harass soon. Do I read this game right?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Panda, you do need to creep to level 3 for sure, but it needs to be sort of a balance between aggression and creeping. You can't just blind creep to 3. I think you do have to somewhat pressure the Farseer at the same time, or else this sort of happens and you can never really creep without getting creep jacked. Nice Crystal Ball, I believe that was, from STARBUCK to reveal. And the Panda has to go back home. And tier 3 from Grubby, so it's going to be Grunts with Bloodlust versus STARBUCK going for double Bestiary. So he is going for the Infi style with the Shadowhunter second I mentioned earlier.
Oh, perfect.
Well, is that Farsight?
Well, that's a good point. I'm looking at the Blade Master because it's pretty low, and I'm looking at the Panda as well. Still level 1. Grubby wants to use the Panda to creepjack. And can you tell me one more thing, because you are reading this game pretty well, what Grubby can do? Is he have enough time for Bloodlusted grounds? Or if he scouts, it's going to be Infi style of the push, what he can do?
Yeah, I think he's kind of committed at this point now. He can try to continue fighting sort of in the center. He doesn't want to allow the fight to be brought to his base. If he allows STARBUCK to push into his base, start building towers, and Grubby has to be defensive, that's bad. But if Grubby can fight out on the map and delay and delay and delay, then maybe grab a Pit Lord third and fight at tier 3 with Orb, that's where Grubby can sort of win. But he's got to buy time now. And yeah, confirmed it is Farsight for STARBUCK. Kind of cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, versus Blade Master, you don't need to buy Dust, and Shadow Hunter is getting sweet experience. Big Invul, pretty decent item, but to be honest, I think Grubby will go for Headhunters first. We are close to tier 3 though. Tier 3 is of course amazing, as you mentioned. We are far away from Bloodlust, there is no adept training just yet, but just Orb, right? Orb of Lightning on the Blade Master, you can patch the Wolves, you can stop the Headhunters a little bit, and look at this, the push is coming now, there is Ensnare, Grubby needs to be careful. Yeah, why he used... he used Farsight to Ensnare, right? That's why. Oh, the surround, oh my god, Grubby is so good with surrounds, look at this Raider.
Yeah, and there's another Raider now. Goes for the Grunt. I thought he goes for the Blade, actually, to save the Raider, but the Windwalk in now. He's got enough mana almost for another Windwalk. Crit doesn't quite get the kill. He gets the surround on the Farseer again, though. TP force. Will the Raider go down at the end of the day? Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, there is 7 charges of healing solve on Grubby. Grubby made a big, investment into it, and it's paying off. And yes, with every minute now, STARBUCK is in a bigger pressure. There is no double Kodo Beast. There is just Mass Riders. Pit Lord as a third hero. What do you think about that? Is it standard? Is Mr. Grubby just experimenting on spot?
Yeah, this is it's either normally Pit Lord or Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter, obviously, if your opponent goes tier 3, Shadowhunter is good because you need that heal wave eventually, because Hero Focus can just be too strong. But if they stay on tier 2, Pit Lord with Howl and with eventual Cleave, and obviously with the immediacy of the Tavern, is really strong. Grubby can fight now. He doesn't have Bloodlust, but he does have 3 heroes. No Orb either, but he's probably feeling pretty confident against the tier 2 army of STARBUCK, who's, by the way, mostly going for Raiders.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the tier 2 army ready to fight. Actually, both players kinda want to fight. Let's see about that. Not that high levels on STARBUCK and Grubby. There is actually minute number 9 and we have no level 3 hero in this game, which is pretty funny to me. And peons are joining the fight. There is no Spirit Link. But Grubby's like, I'm going to fight now. I want to do some nice body blocks. This is funny to see. So it's like we are cosplaying Militia here.
Yeah, and STARBUCK, he's got to be going soon. He's pulling the peons now. This is a timing push. It's, as I mentioned, a later timing push, but you do have to eventually go for the definitive push. Grubby with peons, with the Pit Lord in front. STARBUCK may be a little bit timid, but he also gets a protection goal. Both players with a protection goal. You don't often see that.
Yeah, and we are on the timer because the Bloodlust is in queue and Grubby can't really disengage easily because of all of those raiders. Very interesting moment. Maybe Grubby will pull back his speed scrolling peons with the protection scroll effect. This is quite funny, but yes, 4 of them were left behind. Grubby is waiting. Grubby understands that yes, he's going to have Bloodlusted Pit Lord and Bloodlusted Blade Master. They are pretty two good heroes to Bloodlust, if you ask me. And what is STARBUCK going to do? He wants to creep the middle. Is it going to be enough for level 3? I don't know. He's making shop in the middle as well. The big fight is brewing, but Grubby will be ready because Bloodlust is now online. And look at this. Pit Lord, go.
Very nice. So Grubby's got a lot of damage, but is very glass cannony. I love the raiders on the shop. And STARBUCK, will he break upkeep? Yeah, double Kodo breaks upkeep. Love that play. He can also invest into some towers when the peons maybe show up at the base. And one raider caught out of position. Level 3 Blade. Mirror Image is a real possibility for Grubby to break out of an ensnare lock. But for now, big fight. Is this the fight Grubby wants, though?
Yeah, we don't have Orb, but oh, the Shadow Hunter. The Shadow Hunt. Oh my god. There is big Invul, though. But Surround was pretty good. That Invul was forced immediately. As you mentioned, Mirror Image plays defensively. Pit Lord is in front. Farsight used again. That's pretty funny. And Shadow Hunter, the big inful duration is quite long. Grubby was waiting for the Shadow Hunter kill, but Shadow Hunter survives. Peons are coming back. Maybe Grubby a little bit miscalculated here. Shamans are alive though, but look at this, the Pit Lord is going down. STARBUCK has amazing micro. More Kodobiks are coming. I think Grubby may throw this.
Yeah, that's the issue. You have no sustain on your Blade Master. Once he gets focused, he has to leave the fight for good. A lot of units getting low thanks to Lightning Shield. Heal Wave is fantastic, but now the Shadow Hunter nearly out of mana, gets level 3, and almost has the 90 mana for the next wave in a second. Breath of Fire gets a lot of kills. Quite the even fight, and Pillar will be back soon. If the Blade Master can live at least, one ensnare is maybe all STARBUCK will get. Can he kill the Blade? No. Decides to go for the Grunt, and even exchange between the two.
Yeah, we need something. We need something for Grubby. That was a pretty interesting moment. Grubby sees that there is shop in the middle. STARBUCK can start healing now. And to be honest, this far side, you know, he's using it to make sure that he has this option to ensnare the Blade Master, even if Blade Master is invisible, right? Because ensnare will still land. And look at this, Grubby is going in. Grubby has healing potion used immediately. He's going for the Shadow Hunter. He changed his mind now. He wants to rescue the grounds that are inside of the Kodobis, but eyes on the Blade Master. He's splitting again. Very good coil with this Mirror Image, but the Blade Master is dying. Farsight to the win. He had him with the Farsight.
The Farsight actually gets the kill there, or the Blade would have lived. This is crazy from STARBUCK. Panda trying to solo. Pit Lord was not rebuilt, by the way. He's got enough gold to maybe Tavern Revive the Blade Master in a couple of seconds here. Kodo's still devouring 3 grunts. And Grubby might be losing the Orc Mirror. He taverns back the Blade, salves it up, trying to get some kills here. But these Kodos are so tanky, Saul.
Yeah, they are very tanky and they are digesting 9 supply. That's why Grubby wanted to fight. What is funny to me that he never remade the Pit Lord? Where is the Pit Lord?
Yeah, you know, he hasn't rebuilt it yet. He forgot about it. It would have been really, really nice. It has a ton of items on it as well. Bloodlusted Blade Master without Orb, unfortunately, for Grubby. Heroes are trying to do it on their own. Raiders reinforcing in. Grubby losing pretty much everything. Trying to kill the Kodo, but the Raider micro has been fantastic from STARBUCK.
Yeah, STARBUCK shines with his micro now. It feels quite bad for Grubby. Maybe he'll get some units back, but they're critically low with HP. And yes, now STARBUCK is going for the Panda. It's looking green for Grubby. After the Panda kill, GG will be called, I'm afraid. And yes, that was amazing game by Grubby again. Very, very, very close. GG is called 4-0 for Bucky.
And STARBUCK wins the Orc Mirror. Who would have thought that? Really well done with Farsight. This is probably the most important Farsight, and Bucky is enjoying the moment, man. You can see it, you can feel it. I think he didn't expect this personally, but yeah, the most important Farsight that I've seen in a long time, maybe ever. And that's the STARBUCK, right? He's of course amazing mechanically, but he also has great ideas about the game. And yeah, if your biggest threat is a Blade Master, and you have the tools to control him already, but the one thing that can break that puzzle piece is vision, yeah, then get vision.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. It's cool. You don't see it very often either. Definitely not at like the, from the focus, the lens, the Sowens. You don't see it pretty much ever, but that's a really, really cool idea. I feel like we saw it sometimes maybe when Breakers could still steal Wolves versus Human. You would get Chain Lightning and Farsight later on, but yeah, no, that's super sick from STARBUCK. It makes total sense. And you can cancel salves, I think, is the main idea. Not necessarily to kill the blade, but to cancel salves when you're skirmishing in the mid game. It's a great tool to have.
Yeah, we love to hear.
Sorry? And loud the snares, but what I want to say is like few of those games were so close. Can we agree on that? And yes, it's looking 4-0 for now. Grubby is ready. And yes, STARBUCK with Night Elf, Grubby with Orc. I hope Mr. Grubby will have more lag in this because it's so close. The game is loading. It's going to be tight hunters. Are you guys excited?
Hell yeah. Always. Grubby, pull it all together. Bring that one victory home and show STARBUCK that Night Elf is beatable. Show the world that Night Elf is beatable. And how? Very curious how these players approach this. Grubby has been pretty vocal about the Night Elf matchup, and of course everybody is at the moment, I guess, about that race. It's gonna be fun. The players are once again locked in. Hopefully treating this as it's the new match. 4-0 is rough, but the motivation to take at least one map should be even higher.
That's very true, and as I mentioned, Grubby plays versus a lot of Night Elves because that's when they are active. That's when they're leaving their base, their Moonwells, and they go to play ladder. Mr. Neo, really? There is so many active Night Elves on like 9 PM. So guys, if you are scared of playing Night Elf, don't queue ladder on 9 PM. Queue ladder in the morning when Night Elves are asleep. And one more thing to mention, I have been watching STARBUCK streams, replays a little bit, and on ladder he loves to play Keeper into Hunt, so I wonder what is going to be. And it's actually Demon Hunter, so it's going to be a little bit more standard. And Grubby is answering with Blade Master with Shop, I think. Let's see, where is this peon going, Mr. Neo?
Well, it goes north for now. Is that a cheeky, quick tower push? We'll see. With the Blade Master, probably not. It's Blade Master grunts for now. Interesting. So, the norm. No cheesy plays. Seems like he wants to know if this is a Huntress build order or not and what he has to prepare for. Maybe check if it's a Keeper or if it's a Demon Hunter. There's many options. Some people even play Podem these days. Shout out to Neutron. We got a lot of clicks thanks to your short. So it is Archers confirmed. We don't see a second Moonwell just yet though. Should be soon. Otherwise, this might be a Hunter's Hall.
Yeah, with that much lumber, it screams Hunter's Hall and Grab. As you mentioned, that was a double value from the Peon Scout. Now, in these days, he confirms the hero and confirms the technology, and let's see what Grub is going to do about that. He's basically a trademark opener with Blade Master Mirror Image. That's what he likes to play, but only with one. And Burrow, he's not following with Mirror Image. He's going to still play pretty standard in the mid game, but yes, he doesn't want to go for the Windwalk. He's going for the Mirror Image clip.
Okay, cool. This is not too normal to see mirror image grunts, but this will then mean the strategy will take some time. It is not really a cheese, but it's a variation for sure. We'll see how much Windwalk will be missing when you're not up against the Keeper.
Okay, body blocks, and Demon Hunter gets the last hit. It was looking so good. There was Mana Bear on the wrong Blade Master, but then Demon Hunter get too close and got level 2. It feels bad, man. At least Grubby has a good item, close +5, but Demon Hunter with Link +3. And now, ultimate defense versus Demon Hunter. You have 0 mana, and your mana burn is not as dangerous as usual.
And the hunts are yet to come. Of course, Demon Hunter, mano a mano, getting some big value in thanks to the Ring of Protection, of course, as well. Claws is nice, of course, but he's got to run, just like before. Blade Master was very explosive on Springtime. Hopefully we get there. Critter runs out of the way, doesn't want to be killed, of course, but yeah, Blade Master in the back of his own base is never really great.
Yeah, Grubby is the master of like making the perfect base defense / base layout. He always knows when to. Oh no, the Huntress is coming. Can we block the Huntress? Okay, the healing. Oh no, Grubby is taking prisoner.
Oh no, the blade is blocked in his own base and he doesn't have reveal this time. Oh no.
There is a peon on the top left, so if he wants to get reveal, he will get it from the lab, of course. But what he can do with this reveal, that's another question.
Yeah, he's chopping off the trees. This will take forever. It's so much freedom for STARBUCK. What a play. The big brain hunters. You know, sometimes it's smart to pick a fight, you know? Sometimes you gotta do that. But sometimes it's also nice to be pacifistic and not do anything and chill and relax. That's exactly what the Huntress did here. Amazing reaction by STARBUCK so quick.
Yeah, he used the Grubby base layout against him. He like, okay, Grubby, you are very good with these base layouts. You know what? I'm going to block you with the Hunt. And it worked pretty well. But the question is, how Grubby is going to react into this type of unit composition? Because he knows. He scouted early with the peon. He knows exactly what is there. And look at this. Archer took a lot of damage on the Grubby lab, STARBUCK lab, because the peon was there. Archer survived, and we are fighting here. Mirror image used, but look how low HP on Blade Master. Ay. This Blade Master should be attacking much more. I think that STARBUCK is overall happy with how this game is going, and the real question is he going tier 3 or is he going to push on tier 2?
We'll see about that. Double beastery for Grubby. We'll see where that ends up on. The Huntress will get their upgrade in exactly a minute. And then piercing damage doesn't do not that much to them anymore as it does now, as the armor type is changing from unarmored to heavy. We get a Tree of Life. Grubby scouts this, thankfully.
Yeah, so that's a very important information for him, actually, because now he understands that it's not going to be an alien from STARBUCK, right? He doesn't need to play over defensively. He can play, he can be like more open in the map. He can make more units because STARBUCK is not going to invest everything into the army. But for now, the speed scroll was used and Grubby is not getting too much value. Keeper is here and there is absolutely no dispel in Grubby army. The Hunt will actually survive and Grubby Shadow Hunter will die. Neo is looking bad.
It does. Shadow Hunter dead, Blade Master a bit underleveled, and Grubby calls the game early. STARBUCK with a clean 5-0, proving once again, not that it was necessary, but proving once again that he is the dominator of War 3 champions.
Very well done. Very well played through and through. There was some close moments, notably the first map and then the versus Orc as well. Quite close, but I think once Grubby wasn't able to close out that first map, it was an uphill battle from there. Then the double human, of course, starting on Last Refuge and Pally Rifles, it only gets more difficult. And yeah, it's hard to keep your composure in a series like this. And STARBUCK shows that Night Elf, for him, isn't that weak after all.
He put some practice into his Night Elf, and it showed here. Very well done. The timings worked out. The trap was nice. Throughout the series, I felt like Northern Isles was the standout match, of course. I think that's not a debate. And Last Refuge almost took the wind out of Grubby's sails a little bit when things started to go wrong and STARBUCK's dominance. He just took the momentum and ran with it. It was really impressive how he thrived in that series.
Yeah, Orc Mirror also on springtime. It was almost the Grubby game, right? He took like one fight in the middle where STARBUCK has like these amazing saves and then one bad Blade Master position basically. So definitely Grubby had a lot of like close moments, close games, and again, STARBUCK is a professional player. Like he plays versus like Happy, Fortitude in those big tournaments, and he's doing well there. So shout out, of course, to both players again for participating. And remember, everybody, that yes, Grubby is in the killer shape. Grubby is top 10 on Warcraft III Champions. He had many close aspects, and who knows what the future will bring. Definitely, I'm a little bit more excited for Grubby versus STARBUCK potential rematch at some point than versus Solapen versus Carson.
There was a banger series at the start of the day. Make sure to check that one out as well. Very fair play between the players in the group chat. STARBUCK also said, "Thank you, Grubby, you're goated," and he absolutely is. The results weren't here. Maybe what this man has done for the game, for the platform, for the entire community, shall not be overshadowed by one simple show match. I'm pretty sure he'll be back and show STARBUCK how it's done. But yeah, I mean, we all wouldn't be here without Grubby, and today was maybe not his day, but today was freaking STARBUCK's day. You absolute beast!
Damn, guys. I didn't expect a 5-0, but we did it.
Holy smokes, dude. Game 1, clearly the highlight of the day, right?
Well, yeah.
Lead us through it, like, from your perspective.
I was clinging on for dear life in that game. Like, I was just trying to survive, man. That was my my goal in that game. And then when I got to tier 3, I know I had a good shot versus tier 2 Orc Army with Spirit Link. That was absolute cinema game. I think I should have died there, but I don't know how I survived. Maybe because he didn't go for my expo instead. He went for my main. I think that played a part, but yeah.
Yeah, the crazy fact about this game was that you like kinda, okay, tier 3 finish, what I'm going to do when the entire Orc army is attacking me, I'm going to make a boneyard to get the Frostworms.
That was pretty based.
Yeah. Yes, definitely game 1, like when Grub is like cancelling your expo over and over again with like those grounds, we have sneaky grounds, that was amazing. But I have one question, STARBUCK, it's like I have one question. Tell us more about the far side in game Orc Mirror on springtime, because that will look pretty amazing to control Blade Master, right? You get ability to cancel the heal solves when he goes to Windwalk and wants to heal. You have ability to land and snare, right? Because you keep the vision on. And tell us more. Do you think like Farsight in this matchup should be meta? Like in your hands, look pretty good.
Yeah, when the game is very high momentum and non-stop fighting, you barely have any mana for Chain Lightning, so you just go far side instead against Blade. Because if you watch my Farseer mana, I was just spawning walls. I had nearly no mana for anything else. So especially with my build, which is like 2 Beasteries, it works very well. And not only against Orc Mirror, I've done Farside in like Chinese tournaments before. I think against Human sometimes when they have like spell breakers. So I have Chain Lightning level up and Wolves only on level 1. I think it's a really good ability because it has a very wide area of like visibility. You know, it's more than a crystal ball, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I love this. I think it's underused on pro level. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite crazy.
Questions?
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead. You wanna what? Soul, what were you saying?
No, Mr. STARBUCK, again, congratulations. Last question from me. Do you agree that a lot of games were kind of close, right? The game on Last Refuge was going very well for you. Also, what did you feel versus pressure on Hammerfall, Where like kind of, okay, I'm going to hold it to tier 2, or you like felt for a moment that it may be like too many headhunters from this double barrack?
Yeah, I realized early on that it was actually double Rex when he had 6 of them, I think. So that's when I immediately made a shop, and I was just like, okay, no hurry mode, just stay in my base, survive, and I should be good once I get my long range and blood mage out. I was prioritizing the long range first because I think with shop in the back, I don't need blood mage is not that important. It's about just being able to outrange him with my rifles. So yeah, I played against this strategy before against Sowin. Is something he did against me to Rex tier 1. I don't think it's very good, to be honest. If the human realizes early that it's like it's what you're facing, so you just play no hurry mode, take it easy, survive to tier 2, and then you're good.
Perfect, that makes sense. And that was my questions.
Yeah, Carson, anything from you?
Yeah, I got two questions. The first one, going into this, obviously the Pally rifle match was set in stone. We knew what strategy you're going to play. But for all the other 4 matches, did you have an idea of what you're going to do in advance? Did you know you're going to play Crippler? Did you know you're going to play 2-farm Rifleman Tech? Did you know you're going to play this sort of Infi style, I call it, with the Farseer double Kodo push? Did you have all these set in stone before, or did you just sort of freeball it?
I only had the Night Elf set in stone because I talked to Roulette, like, give me your hunt and dryad tactic. And
Right.
he told me, and I saw 2 replays against Focus from Dolphin Cup. So I wrote it on a list of paper. I'll show you on cam. But okay, the lighting is terrible. But anyway, it's like 3 hunts into Sentinel, into Glaive upgrade, and then you go aggro with the Keeper, you make 1 lore and expo. So this is what I felt comfortable with. And honestly, in that game 5, when I stole that little Murloc for level 2 demon, it was like the dream start, because then I can just keep on him with evasion and he can't do much. And then I blocked him in with a hunt. I was like popping off. So
yeah, that was good momentum. Yeah, I guess is the idea. We haven't seen the metas evolving a lot, so there's a lot of new strategies recently. We haven't seen the sort of 3 hunt tech style for a while. What's the idea? That is the idea of the 3 hunts secure map control, and then you can get the expansion up easily at tier 2. Do you have you played this strat, or do you know enough about it yet to sort of extrapolate on why the 3 hunt tech in the Dryas? What's the idea?
Yeah, I've been leathering Night Elf for the past 2 days, and it's just, you feel so fast around the map. The orc can't really creep to level 3 blade. So the idea is you want to prevent level 3 blade, because that's a big menace. That's a alpha blade master. You don't want that. You want him to keep in check. You want to keep him in check, and when once Keeper comes out, then you can take a little bit of trade, because your moonwells are full, so you are really inclined to take a fight, regen while there's still nighttime, so your moonwells start regenning. So when he was being aggro with the shadow, I was like, yes, please, let's fight, you know.
For sure.
So yeah, one thing that can be dangerous with this is running out of moonwell juice since you're on tier 2. So if Orc stays like passive and gets shadow level 2 with 1 walker out, then it can be tough if you don't deal damage before that. But that game just turned out to like my favor very early on.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then one more question for me. In the entirety of the world, do you think there are more windows or more wheels?
I think more windows.
More windows? Yeah, there's a lot of buildings. Yeah. I mean, on a car, though, there's like 5 wheels or 6 wheels. It's steer wheel, flywheel in the engine, and 4 tires. You know, it's a lot.
Damn, that's a pot of 420 question, Carson. What are you smoking, my man?
Oh, you don't want to know, bro. You got to visit Canada, man.
Oh, is it legal in Canada? I don't know, man.
It's legal. It's legal in Canada.
Legal?
Yeah, man.
Shit,
you got to
man,
visit.
Consider me coming, Kappa. No, I don't smoke. I don't smoke.
Yeah, this guy won 2-0 versus me in the show match. Now I feel even worse, man.
Oh, Carson on fire, man. Jesus. Nice, man.
One last thing for me, STARBUCK. Of course, you're owning right now. And we know that B Cup is coming, big tournament. We know that Don't Force Me is coming for $28,000. But we also know that Summer is coming. And we know that you're a socializing dude. So how will you manage that?
On Summer, I pull a Luka Doncic. Like, I'm barbecuing and drinking beer and getting fat. Every summer is the same, man. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough in the summer, but for sure the Dolphin Cup, I'm gonna try hard as much as I can. B Cup, though, I'm just having fun in B Cup. I'm thinking about playing Elf in group stage, believe it or not. I'm really enjoying the race. So yeah, like against Leon last time in B Cup, I know I played Elf. I like that. So against TH, I might play Elf just for fun. But to be honest, I have to defend my back-to-back top 2 B Cup. So I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm just having
That's the wrong
fun in B Cup.
mindset, dude. You don't have to defend the final. You have to conquer that thing and win it.
True. Yeah. Freaking Kappa, man. He's really strong. Damn. Yeah.
You'll get it done, man. You did it before and you can do it again. You're the dominator here on War 3 Champions, and man, we can't wait to see more from you.
Thank you. I'm excited for you guys to cast my games and show my best.
Will do. Now have a nice evening with 1 or 2 cheeky beers.
Oh, yes. I got Paulaner Weissbier.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I love it. I love it.
Perfect, man.
Yeah.
Take care. See you soon.
Thank you, guys. Have fun. GG's.
What a king. What a likable king. What a great leader for the War 3 Champion server.
Yeah, very well played. Very well played. Very well deserved. And I think we see why he wasn't in the main tournament there, because he would have absolutely destroyed everybody because he's damn good. I mean, easily top 8 in the world right now, probably arguably top 5, maybe even higher at his best. He is damn good. If he keeps practicing, who knows? Maybe he can even overcome Happy for the best in Europe.
It is likable. Happy showed weaknesses a couple of days before. STARBUCK shows that he's absolute boss and he's having fun. Like, that's such a great combination. This brilliant mind for the game that we've seen here in with all different races. Then he got the stamina to keep up the grind as well. And then he's enjoying it as well. Like, sitting here playing a showmatch, being in a great mood and drinking beer. Like, hell yeah, living the life. It's a really cool combination, and we'll be rooting for him for sure in the tournament that are to come. Another tournament that is to come, everybody, is, as this was the last episode of the War 3 Champions Season 20 finals, is of course the Season 21 finals, because I think a lot of people enjoyed what we built this season with the wildcard qualifier and the open bracket basically, and then the main tournament with the huge final of Jens and Leon, and then the show match on top. If you want us to do it again, we need your help to fund this, because the players of course need some rewards to play. The crowdfunding is now open. W3C finals is the command in the chat. I'm gonna post the link if you have the means. If you have $1 or $2, here it is. We had some great support last time, and hopefully we can repeat that. Thank you to Blue TriStar for the $10. The crowdfunding has started officially, and he's the first one to contribute. Thank you so much. Carson, we had this intern, this soul intern, man. This was the last day. What's your result of the internship for Mr. 8-Man?
You know, I don't like giving 10 out of 10s. I don't like just throwing the highest rating out there, because then it doesn't leave any room to grow. So I'm going to give Saul a 9.5 out of 10. And then, you know, maybe he can get that 0.5 in the next season if you graciously invite him back. But, you know, I just got to say, I just sit around here and pretty much do nothing. I mean, Neo and Saul pretty much organized the whole thing between the two of them. I just sat back and chilled out. So, you know, credit to both of them for putting in the work. There's a lot more work that goes on behind the scenes than just showing up and casting. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Okay, we'll see if you can work your way up to 10 out of 10. So
all right, then I have to say I wouldn't have had the energy to put this together without Soul. Like, from before day one, he was here whenever he heard the news that we're doing this. He was in my DMs and helped out so much. Without Soul, there wouldn't have been War 3 Champions finals, and man, would it be an honor to have you back.
Well, what I would like to say is to thank you for the opportunity, and for the viewers. Guys, Warcraft III Champions finals are pretty cool. And yes, the infrastructure is there. We made a nice Excel sheet, so I don't know if Soul 8-Man will be there as an intern or not, but the Excel sheet will be there. So Mr. Neo, Mr. Carson, is going to be very easy to organize now. We have all of the player contact and so on. So yes, if somebody wants to support Season 21 finals, there is a Macherino active. And Mr. Neo, maybe it's a good time to also thank for the top sponsors, right? Because I saw Mr. Clean Shilpart in the chat. And guys, without the community community, there will be no Warcraft Champions finals. And yes, we can feel pretty good about Warcraft Champions because they say that KK platform has, like rewards for playing. And on Warcraft Champions, we also as a community are taking good care of the players. And thank you for that. And thank you for this opportunity. And from my end, it was amazing to work with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Kleine Schildpad, the absolute gold, $2,500 for season 20. Max it out also more than 1,000 for Jerk with 1,000, and all the smaller contributions were insane. And yeah, this would be the best for the Western scene if we could keep up this momentum. It's gonna be good.